If you've ever wondered about how cybersecurity in the technology industry can change your life, then look no further than this testimonial from my former student, where I supported him for over 2 years to help him get 2 jobs. The first one at $60,000 a year and the second one at $160,000 a year. You heard those numbers right. I'm excited to get into this video and share it with you guys. So without further ado, 3, 2, 1. You acquired this second job right on the precipice of us introducing the new AI to all the students.
Oh, I was your guinea pig.
Where you came into the program and we helped you get your first job at like $60,000 a year, and then your second one at $160,000 a year. Am I right on those numbers?
More or less, yeah. Because it's a frustrating journey. Okay,
Yeah,
there were plenty of times I wanted to pull my hair out and look like you, so I would.
Well, I'm glad you didn't. Golly. So go ahead, tell me about the new job.
Oh, it's fantastic. I don't know if I want to say the name of the company.
No, don't say the name of the company. I'll keep your name out of it and everything.
It's a unique company, so there's I can't say too much without giving it away, but needless to say, we are in the real estate tech space.
Okay.
Something very unique. More or less what I do. So as a new guy, there's a few new things that I have to do that others do not. There's essentially the sales development representative, the SDR level, and then there's the AE level, except of course our company has to call it 2 different titles, but I'll just use those titles for our purposes. And I'm doing the SDR work, which I understand in the long run. But while I'm being trained on that and being trained on the AE work, there's a little confusion. In fact, the sales manager always ribs me. He's like, Ted, you're like giving a blend of the 2 calls. And I'm just like, well, I mean, I do like what I'm doing. Tech is changing the game. AI is changing the game. And that AI is not just recording our calls, like I see it's recording yours. AI is now giving us an evaluation and feedback. Well, it sucks because AI can't see the visuals. So one of the criticisms I'm getting is that to show them more visuals. And I'm like, well, I am, but you can't see that.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That sounds like that's a current flaw in the system. I mean, and it's one of those things that it's like, if you made a sale, it's hard to say that you did something wrong. Right.
That's exactly it. Yeah. I mean, I thought I had a successful call right now. The guy orally committed to spending a nice mid 6 figures. In case you're wondering, no, we do not get 10% of that.
Oh, dang it. Do you get 1% of that?
We don't get a percentage.
You acquired this second job right on the precipice of us introducing the new AI to all the students.
Oh, I was your guinea pig.
That's
So very briefly, like you, I was a teacher. I don't know if that secret's out. You know, I loved what I'm doing. It was a special school that I was with, not a typical. It was a type of special private school. We'll leave it at that. And I felt a lot of satisfaction, but into my 40s, I need to make some money. I'm sorry. All right. I was one of your guinea pigs as well in the very first cyber sales boot camp. I actually would consider doing the cybersecurity boot camp. Maybe fortunate that I didn't, because I turned out to be pretty good at sales. And then cybersecurity is certainly tougher to get in. I will say that. Okay. It's not hard by any means, but it's tougher than it used to be. And then my age would probably be working against me for that. So whereas someone who's in their 20s, that's, perfectly okay. But, I treated it like school. I would go full blitz and everything like that. And the other 2 guys in the boot camp, they weren't lazy, but I don't think they were as motivated as I was. And I just remember you, when I did the pitch to you, you actually seriously thought I had this product that I was pitching.
I was blown away with how good your pitch was. And I was like, this was one of the best calls I've ever had. How have you not been doing this for a decade? And you're like, I just read the books that Tom told me to read. And then it worked. And I'm like, it did. Like I was actually astonished that you didn't have a background in sales. And just after a couple of weeks, you managed to do everything that you were able to do on that call, versus I'm sure you remember one of the other guys where I was pushing back on him and he was floundering all over the place. And with you, it was like you were just holding my hand, taking me on a journey for like understanding my pain point, asking the right questions. And I was like, I would 100% book a call with this guy. It was unbelievable.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's pretty much the way I would say is like it's a combination of formula and like, I don't know, acting's not the right word because you can't be a phony, but you got to be really enthusiastic and a really big believer in what you're selling. And that's actually, so when I was applying to, there were certain things that I actually got interviews for that I just like, I can't seriously sell this in good faith. So whereas now what I believe, this really does save homeowners a lot of money. Like their cost to us is almost nothing. The amount of money they save when they're, rehabbing a home, renovating a home is in the thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars. So, and their cost to us is much, much below that. So I truly believe that this will help people. So it makes it easier. But yeah, once you do that, it is a formula, and it's a pretty tried and true formula. There's nothing new about what they're teaching, but you definitely needed the boot camp because it's not, the books help, but you need to like put it into play. You need critiques of all the little, because there's so many little things to do.
Yeah, 100%. So like you, if I remember correctly, we had been at least partially supporting you for going on 2 years, where you came into the program and we helped you get your first job at like $60,000 a year, and then your second one at $160,000 a year. Am I right on those numbers?
More or less, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I did get raises, a little bit of raises along the way, but that's more or less it. Yeah. I never dreamed that I would be making money like this. So now I got to say 160 is the target if I hit my quotas. And that's something else I'm discovering at this job is that the quotas are a little bit subjective. It's not like a dollar amount you have to hit, because it's like someone could be doing a $50,000 project. Someone could be doing a $500,000 project. So you never know. So like that's taken into account. Also with like the LA fires, those people are doing $1 million projects. It's kind of not fair that what if someone, is getting all these $1 million opportunities and things like that. So versus someone's getting a bunch of $50,000 ones. So it's a little subjective, which I get, but yeah, it's definitely not commission based or anything like that.
What do you think your on pace earnings is for the end of your first year there?
I mean, definitely above 120. So
okay, gotcha.
That was my goal. That was my goal. Yeah, the quotas are high. It's weird. On the one hand, so far given me, and I'm new, so maybe they're being generous, but I've heard they do this for others. Like no one always hits their quota. It's because they made the quotas like impossible and they're always changing. So it's definitely a startup and they're playing things around. But this was my first choice company, and there are a lot of good things. Actually, let's do this in order. Let me kind of explain the job search. So to get, first of all, the first job, I was also trying to get a cybersecurity sales job, and it was more of a SaaS job I ended up getting, which I'm fine with. But the message I keep giving to people who are doing their cybersecurity boot camp and Network Plus is, look, I was a top student. I worked my butt off, and I still would fail practice tests repeatedly. And I go back and have to learn the same material over and over again. Thankfully, you seem to, either because I was always hyping you, or maybe you just forgot, you never turned off the LMS for me, so I could just keep looking at it and studying.
Oh, I never do. I never do that for any students.
Oh,
in fact, not only that, every student who's ever been in the program, so long as I have the bandwidth to continue to support them, I do and I will. Right? We had another student who wasn't in the sales boot camp, was in the traditional boot camp, that I remember I signed him on April of 2023. I was literally living in a hotel because my condo at the time had no electricity. I was waiting to close on my house. I remember that exact moment. I was sitting poolside talking to this guy in the DMs, and he was telling me about how this was such a big purchase, that he hadn't paid this much for anything since he bought a car. And he had to split the payment in two. And I promised him, I said, this would be the best investment that you could possibly make in your education. And just last week, we finally helped him break into the industry and land a job making $65,000 a year. Like, it was a heartbreaking testimony. That's the whole thing, is like, I am outcome driven. And it's like, that's the beauty of being an independent organization, unlike most of these cybersecurity boot camps that are funded by venture capital. The only thing that they can be concerned with is their bottom line, because otherwise they're going to get their entire company sucked out from the inside. And so, yeah, no, I didn't turn off the LMS. That wasn't on accident. And I'm glad that you were able to continue to use it and benefit from that.
Honestly, Evan, that's what you just touched upon is the biggest selling point for you, is that if you go with Bowtied Cyber Bootcamp, you are going to get concierge service. They are going to tailor this to you, and they are mission driven. You and Tom and others are completely driven toward getting your students a job. And people could criticize you and say that there are a million other places you get free stuff. And yeah, but the fact that you are not going to let anyone down is really important, because it's a frustrating journey. Okay.
Yeah,
there were plenty of times I wanted to pull my hair out and look like you. So I would.
Well, I'm glad you didn't. Golly. Shots fired. I'll take it. That's it.
Yeah, but you helped a lot of people. You helped me. Let me kind of describe more how you helped me. So I got the job. Things were good. It was clear to me that this company, they were very much a startup. Okay. Very much early stage. So to see all the salespeople that came and went while I stayed, mostly because the other ones were not able to hit their quotas, wasn't an accomplishment in and of itself, but I didn't see this company going big places. So good people, I'm very thankful they gave me a chance, but I didn't think it was going where I wanted to, and I really wanted to get to cyber. So I applied after 2 years, I applied to my next set of jobs, ideally remote, but I was willing to go on personally part-time. So let me kind of tell you about that. So I was the guinea pig for this AI system, and the AI was brutal to me. They're like, Ted, you're in your 40s and they are not going to like you. Plain and simple, they're going to say, like, why are you changing your careers now? And of course, I had the great explanation. Oh, by the way, the company I'm at now, the guy that hired me also used to be a teacher, so that may have helped.
Yeah, knowing how to having those opportunities to really make those connections, right? Whatever the thing is, and you know this from being in sales, there's always something that you have in common with the other person. It's figuring out what that is. It could be your love for MMA. It could be that you ride motorcycles. It could be that you like fishing. It could be that you enjoy seafood or long walks on the beach or whatever the thing is, anime conventions. It literally doesn't matter. If you find something to move that person from a neutral position or a slightly negative position to a friendly position to gain a trust level on a deeper level, that's everything.
So before I worked with the AI, I applied everywhere I could think of. I just went nuts with my applications, because I remember you saying you got to apply to 1,000 places. So I had applied to maybe 100 by this. It's very time consuming. Okay, time consuming process before using AI. I had gotten one interview offer from Fisher Investments. Okay. And they were great, except they wanted me in person. I could choose between Tampa and Plano outside of Dallas. And I know you're in Florida, but I'm in Los Angeles. And I was like, all right, if this is the best I get, and the salary wasn't to die for, but it was still, a boost. I actually talked to an old buddy of mine that was in the financial advisement space. And he just said, it's just a churn shop. It's high pressure. It's like, it's not you who your personality is. I don't think it would be a great choice. So I just kept it on the back burner. I didn't apply for Northwestern Mutual and Anderson Windows, but they both offered me $75,000 to start as a base plus commission. So I thought that was pretty interesting, but those are, again, chop shops. You're just always calling up strangers and selling. And that's one thing that I wasn't used to, is just cold calling and selling. And people had no idea I was going to call. It's one thing to call if they put their name on a list. Yeah, and they were just desperate for people, basically. That's why when I put on LinkedIn open to work, they reached out to me over LinkedIn. So I didn't really earn those 2 interviews. But they were just saying yes to anyone who applied, from what I understood. So once I worked with your AI tool, it was kind of brutal to me. One of their other suggestions is also brutal. They're like, stop applying for cyber ones. Your background is not fit for cyber, which sucked after getting all these certifications. But yeah, the people that are doing cyber sales have an extensive background in cyber. They've earned the right to sell it. Whereas I have certifications and one project that you suggested I do during the time. So it's like, I could understand why I could do that. But that said, the OTE for a cyber job that I saw, I remember, Kat was telling me that if you see a job you like, in particular, just tell me and we'll do something special for it. That still didn't help because the job, you only needed 2 years of experience in any type of sales. Was paid $330,000 a year.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
needless to say, I didn't get anything there, but I did get seven. I believe it was 7 interview offers, which out of 350 applications, which I remember you saying that's really high, 2%.
That's about a twice the average. Normally, it's about a 1% callback rate. So the fact that you were getting like a 2% callback rate is huge, right? And you can apply to, realistically, literally anybody in the world can apply to 50 jobs a week. And if you're getting like an interview a week, that's great numbers. That's only a matter of time until you land.
Right. But this is me. I approached this with the same bull in the China shop mentality. So I was trying to do 20 to 30 applications per night, which thanks to the AI, I could and would be able to do it in like 2 hours. But yeah, from the minute I got home from work, I would, I'd eat, gym, things like that. But yeah, it was something that spent a couple hours a night just doing applications, no TV, no surfing, no video games, anything like that. 30 minutes to practice the piano, an hour at the gym. Yeah, so this job actually was my favorite choice. It doesn't mean it was everything I was looking for, but look, on the one hand, I wanted remote, but on the other hand, I was like, I really have a lot to learn. So I'd like to be in person. So this job is 3 days a week in the office, 2 days remote. And I liked that, although the very first remote day, I was just like, what do I do all day? Which is, I know for some people, they're like, go to the beach. But I'm just like, no. This is my first week on the job. I got to look like I'm serious. But nowadays, like especially today, I have a lot of stuff I have to get done. So I will be working all day. The hours are longer. So I was in the office till 8 o'clock last night. And, you get no bonus points for doing that in sales. So it's just, you got to do what you got to do. But they're really cool people. They're great people. They're something I believe in. Yeah, I like going there. Oh, and great for Los Angeles. The commute's about 20 minutes each way.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. Especially in LA. I imagine you can't even go down the street in 20 minutes in LA.
At the height of rush hour, that's true. But because my hours are longer, I'm leaving the house at 8 o'clock and I'm usually coming back around 6:30. So if I'm able to come home at 6:30, then I'll hit the gym. Yeah. So it is interrupting my gym schedule. I'm having to work out from home. So do in-place squats and lunges while carrying, some bottles of water or something like that, as opposed to a real gym.
It's so beautiful how you went from being a teacher to now 160 a year on a good year, we'll say.
Yeah.
Your arc of doing that, so beautiful and so reminiscent of the core of what it is that I want this organization to be, which is that somebody who comes in and is willing to put in the effort is going to be able to succeed above and beyond anything that they could have possibly dreamed or imagined, right? That as long as you don't give up on you, I won't give up on you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's just so cool to see people like yourself come in and take it seriously, because for every one person like you who comes in and gets the first job at $60,000 a year, and then continues to work the program for another 2 years to 1.5x their income on a good year in the following years. For every one student like that, I have 10 students who they get a job, they say thank you, and I never hear from them again. And that's okay. It's not you signed up for a boot camp. You didn't sign up to be my adopted child. So it's fine. You get what you want from the service and then you move on with your life. That's ostensibly the goal. But to see that we have these systems in place that are here to actually help people, and to know that every once in a while someone actually uses that to its fullest capacity, that's incredibly meaningful for me. So thank you.
Thank you. And the reason I'm here and the reason I still follow the chat, if I had the time and got home early on a Wednesday, I would absolutely pop in more often to the Wednesday night chat. I got to tell you, I'm here today. Yes, I worked my butt off. I certainly, that part of it I did. And yes, I overcame a lot of setbacks. A lot of times I failed and got frustrated and just why can't I learn this fast enough? I could have done a lot of it myself, but I couldn't have done all of it. And if it wasn't the kindness for you and Tom to give me much more than what I had paid for, then I would not be here today. So I am forever grateful for you. And I'd be happy anytime I have spare time to go speak to people. And I hope one day that I can hook up your students with internships. As I said, I'm new at this job 6 weeks in, so I don't have that leverage yet. But I hope if there's any way I can help you in the future, besides speaking your praise, then I'd love to help you out.
I very much appreciate it. You're a blessing and a godsend. And who's the kind of person that you would recommend the program for?
Well, I guess everyone assumes themselves. So I would say there are a lot of young people. I see the numbers out there that are, young people today, they embrace extreme political ideology and all these things because they see the frustration. So for young people that we're told you can take on $100,000 in debt or whatever, or don't have a direction, and any student that has that desire and is willing to put in the work, certainly is a candidate. But I'd like to also suggest there can be people that have been around doing what they loved, but also, saying, like, how do I make more money? Like, how do I switch careers when I'm middle age? I mean, I have extra responsibilities. I can't just take off and go back to school to be a lawyer or doctor at this point. I mean, that's not in the cards, but what is something I can do affordably and quickly? I guess I'm very fortunate that I just happened to see you on Twitter, or was called Twitter at the time, reaching out.
Ted, you've been great. I really appreciate you taking some time to hop on and do this. Yeah, feel free to hang around in the Discord if there's ever anything that we need that you need from us, like to continue to advance your career. I mean, I'm only ever an email away.
Sounds good. And same thing, anybody wants my advice, I'm happy to give it to me, to someone that can talk about their experiences. I'm happy to give a recommendation. Absolutely.
Awesome. You're the best. Appreciate it. Thank you so much, Ted.
What a great story, and what a great way to captivate just really the essence of what it is that we do here. So many of these other boot camps have already sold their soul to the devil and are just completely funded by venture capital. I'm not kidding. 2 big name boot camps that you've probably heard of collectively accepted over $120 million in venture capital funding in recent years. I don't do that. I'm 100% self-owned. And because of that, I don't have stakeholders that I'm beholden to. The only people that I'm concerned about making sure are getting what they need is you. So if you're interested in joining on to the best program that's ever existed, check out the Zero to Hoodie Cybersecurity Bootcamp with the link in my bio, and I'll see you there. Until next time, cheers.